Hello, everyone. This is Natalie with Marketing Resolution, and thanks again for joining us. Today, I am so excited to talk to Thilan. She's in Adelaide, Australia. She has a fantastic background. Good morning, how are you? Or good evening, where you are in Australia.
Yeah, good evening, good morning to you.
Thanks. So your bio was of particular interest to me because you worked with the UN for 12 years and have transitioned that experience into mediating and coaching for corporations and handling workplace issues. And so I'm hoping that you can describe for me a little bit about your mediation practice, but also about your online offerings.
Okay, yes, so I am, people wondering about my accent. I'm actually not very Aussie, you don't sound very Aussie. I'm originally from the Netherlands. And I moved to Australia 9 years ago. And before that, I was working for the United Nations. And I was really keen to, I think I was really passionate about conflict resolutions throughout my professional career, because I started working as a barrister. And so that was my first job. So I actually always been confronted with conflict throughout my career. And then when I worked for the United Nations on war crimes and human rights, there was more conflict. So when I came to Adelaide, I really wanted to use my expertise to resolve conflicts, and thankfully there's no wars here. And so a natural fit was for me the workplace, because when I arrived here and I worked as a as a HR manager, I realized that there's a lot of conflict in workplaces and people get extremely miserable. And so having seen the worst side of conflict and having stood in front of mass graves, I really don't distinguish between any kind of conflict, whether it's in a war zone or you go to work and you're completely miserable, you have to take antidepressants, you feel completely stuck. Conflict is conflict to me, and I'm really keen on helping people resolve conflict.
Yeah, well, and thankfully most workplace environments are not the environment that you saw in Bosnia or Africa, but they do create some tense situations that can be traumatic to people. And so when you go into a workplace, are you working with employees, HR managers? Are you working from the top down with CEOs, COOs? Who are your primary clients?
Yeah, so I guess my standard response to that is that I have not a one-fits-all approach. I really work with the people that I work with. Often, when I started as a mediator, I worked often one-on-one conflicts, but now I work a lot with entire teams or even organizations in conflict. And every time I come into a conflict situation is a bit like coming into a war zone. I did a keynote on the comparison between being in a war zone and being in a workplace, and it depends very much. But of course, you have to have the chief executive and on board, because there's no use in trying to work with everyone else if management or executive management is not wanting to change and daring to change a culture. Yeah. So that's important for me, but it very much depends. Often when it's an entire team, I do a kind of a culture check. I talk to people. I get, as you know, the story from all sides, whether people have been there for a long time, people who are professional staff, admin staff, and etc. And I paint a picture and often present that back to them and say, well, what are you going to do about it? Because for me, conflict resolution is about empowering people, and it's not about me coming in and telling people what to do, because it doesn't work that way.
I love that. I absolutely love that. That's a great approach. So if people don't have access to you directly, or because you're in Southern Australia, or they can't make the right, meeting times, or they can't get the whole team together, or whatever the situation may be. I know that you also have an online program, training, coaching, and conflict resolution component to your practice, so that you can best serve everyone that's in your great region. Tell me a little bit about how the online offerings work.
Yes, yes. So what I noticed working with leaders was that often, and I've been there myself, that people are put in leadership positions without really the background of and having the skills as a leader. And so often when there's conflict, people avoid conflict. Leaders avoid conflict. But we don't like leaders who avoid conflict because they're considered weak. Or people go full on in conflict, and we don't like leaders like that either. So it's that balance. And so what I notice, and coming from Holland, South Australia is enormous. Like, I can drive 8 hours and I'm still in South Australia. So I realized that online was the way to go. So I've created an online community, and I have created some courses so that people don't have to be in Adelaide. And also because I'm global and I have this connection with the whole world, I really want it to be a place where people from all over the world can go to. So I have conflict resolution course, which I called Confident with Conflict. I have leadership course, which I've called Leadership Essentials. I have a Coach and Conquer course, which is coaching skills for leaders. And it's all about helping leaders to, have people, create people that want to follow them and that are inspired by them, and giving them the skills they need.
Yeah. And I think that is super important. If you're in a leadership position, a lot of people who are in a leadership position, like you said, they're conflict averse. They just want to do business.
Yes.
But that's not the healthiest way to approach things. And then there are those leaders, like you said, that seem to really embrace creating drama and conflict. And they don't just appreciate it, they sometimes create it. And that's not a healthy work environment also. So teaching them to have this balance in the communication skills, the tolerance skills, the appreciation of how different employees come to that job through different filters in their lives. Those are just imperative skills. And of course, I will link your website and all of the information in the description bar, so that people can click on that and learn more and contact you and ask questions, because these skills really will save businesses, they save relationships, they are all important. I really appreciate the work that you're doing.
Thank you. And also, mind you, leaders are often very alone, or the position of leader is a very difficult position. So I don't envy people at all. And it's not about saying that they're doing things wrong, but it's about helping them to be able to lead in a way that people, will appreciate.
Yeah, and helping them appreciate the really important relationships that employees have with other employees, and understanding, what motivates us to do what we do or not do what we're supposed to do, maybe, or all of those kinds of things. So, well, I love this component of the online coaching and conflict resolution that you offer. It is a great complement to what you do for them in person, face to face. That I think that's a brilliant balance for your personal practice. So Thilan, thank you very much for explaining what you do and how you do it, and who your clients are and the great benefits that they receive by hiring your company. And I really appreciate you setting aside some time for me this evening. I really look forward to keeping in contact with you, and let us know, what the next new thing for your practice in Adelaide is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I forgot to say, actually, I also do a lot of free webinars, so people can look that up as well on the website. But thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you, and you're an inspiration to me. So thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you, Thilan. I really appreciate that. You are, as your name says, you are a great flower on this planet. I really appreciate your time and all the hard work that you do for all of us. We're all
I hope you can't see me blushing now. Yeah.
we all are the recipients of your great work, and so we appreciate that. So everybody, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share these videos. We appreciate every new subscriber and all the support that our subscribers do give us. And again, I'm going to put all of Thilan's information in the description bar so that if you have questions or you need to hire her company, then you have easy access. Thilan, again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you so much, Natalie.
You're welcome. Okay, how did that feel?